Hello, Med13L community. I wanted to update folks on our research and development efforts, and particularly Rarebase. I'm at a school event for one of my kids, by the way, so if there's noise in the background, I apologize. So, first of all, we have a ton going on the research and development side. We have a couple dozen projects in various stages of development, many of which are actually directly focused on finding medicines for our community. But Rarebase was the first of those, and I know people are focused on it as we are, so I wanted to give an update. So the bottom line is, through a long process, we identified 5 compounds that we thought were particularly promising, and did some assays on cell lines. Technically, they were neurons that had been derived from stem cells that had been derived from a couple of Med13L children. And again, the unfortunate news was that in that assay, we didn't get anything resembling the meaningful signal that we'd hoped. This was a real disappointment to us, as I'm sure it is to you. We thought we had a fast track to medicines this summer, that at least one of them would hit, but so far that hasn't happened. And I say so far because this is not a final readout. There's a lot more to do here. So a couple points I'd like to make about the Rarebase project. The first is that experiments like this are expensive and risky, and we knew that, and so a few families stepped forward to fund the project directly to essentially keep the funds that have been raised from the broader community towards a diversified set of other very important projects, which we'll talk about in future updates. Second related issue, is the fact that the budget that we had, even with these donations, was not enough to do the really robust, ideal set of experiments. So, let me explain what I mean by that. In the original filter, we looked at 4,000 compounds, and we were only able to fund 1 dose level per compound in that first filter. Ideally, you would want a large number of dose levels so that you can see what's called a dose response curve and get a better signal, more confidence, in your final selection. Then, when it came to the final tests, on the 5 that we selected, first of all, we selected 5. In a perfect world, we would have been able to select 15 or more, but again, we were constrained by budget. And then, the third piece, and this is an important one, is that we only had 2 cell lines to work with, only 2 patient cell lines. They were actually neurons, again, derived from stem cells that were derived from the patient's blood donations. That takes a lot of time, and it's not inexpensive as well. In a perfect world, we would have had a dozen or more, but we just didn't have the biosamples, and we didn't have the funding at the time. So, there is a version of this experiment that is much more robust, but that would cost well over $1 million just for this experiment, and we don't have that yet. This is one of the reasons we're really trying to find ways to increase fundraising through individual donations and through grants. And the cell lines issue really points to why involvement from the community is so important. Another important point to make here, again, is that this is not the end of the road with a Rarebase project. This was one readout. There's more work coming. Rarebase is actually in the process of doing data analyses on hundreds of other compounds, and we hope to yield another set that may offer the potential for medicines for the community. But again, the bottom line is we were hoping for sort of the fast track to get to compounds that could possibly even be administrable to our community, and we're not there yet. There's more work to do, and again, not just with Rarebase, but with the many other projects that we're working on. So that's our update on Rarebase. We have a lot more news to share with you, and that will come in future updates. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.